some kind of side hustle that has the ability to grow into something much bigger in the future. Look, I wasn't wealthy enough to be able to afford university or probably academically smart enough, but I always had side hustles. Ultimately, my side hustles turned into multi-million-dollar businesses and made me a millionaire. That's why today I'm going to dive into 7 side hustles students can start this year. To be honest, these can actually apply to anyone, anywhere in the world. And because I hate those silly videos that just regurgitate the same list of side hustle ideas, I'm actually going to share real life examples of people smashing it and rate them out of 5 in these important categories. How much time it takes to learn, how much money you need, and how difficult it is to make $1,000 per month. Side hustle idea number 1. Faceless short form content. This is Daniel Bitton. Like many of you, he started using social media for fun at the age of 30.
Based on our DNA and the way that we have become a company over the last 30 years, moves very quickly. But when you get larger, there are all sorts of ways that, natural ways that you can get slowed down. And so when we talk about operating like the world's largest startup, we think about a few things. One is, I think in whatever we build, whatever we spend resources on, we have to make sure we're solving a real customer problem. And I think a lot of companies, technology companies in particular, fall in love with the technology, and they are building things that they think are cool because they love the technology, but they get to the end and they haven't really solved anything remarkable. And so you have to startups are missionary about trying to solve problems for customers. And that's what we got to make sure we spend our time on. And then we need a lot of builders, disproportionately so. And I think of builders as people that like to invent, people that like to dissect a customer experience.
The last time you were on to do a full episode, I think you were guest number 3 way back in 2018. So I will assume that a lot of people have not heard that episode. If they haven't, feel free to go check it out. It's still up on our YouTube page. But since then, we always like to ask our guests superhero origin story. So where did you first get interested in computers and tech? And when did you first get excited about cybersecurity? What was the initial draw?
Well, computers and tech in general, it was actually in high school.
Okay.
There's a class, and people know I grew up in rural Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
My senior class was literally like 35 people. My hometown had about 2,500 people,
okay.
2,500 total.
Yeah.
But there was a vocational course called Diversified Technology. And in there was an introduction to computers and CAD. And there was a instructor, a teacher there, Mr. Curtis,
but I do think you've got, a very great capability to explain geological things simply.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. I mean, the idea came about because as geologists, every time a company puts out an announcement, every other geologist looks at it, and to be honest with you, half the time we think to ourselves, what a load of crap, but you're always sort of constrained by what you can and can't say publicly, and especially when you're employed by another company, there's a lot of constraints on you. But as geologists, we all sit around and look at everyone else's work and try to find reasons why it's either good or why it's bad. And the amount of friends and family I've got who have been investing in the exploration space for 20 odd years, and a company will put something out that seems relatively mundane and straightforward, and they'll say, Michael, what does this mean, and what comes next? So for me, I just thought, well, it seems pretty logical.
What I do on a day-to-day basis.
Is there a woman on planet Earth that manages more money from an investing capacity than you?
Maybe not. I'm overseeing nearly $30 billion.
Okay, so I might have $500. What should I be doing with that?
So this is all you need to know.
Kathy Wood built a multi-billion-dollar fund by spotting trends before anyone else.
And now, with over 40 years of market insight, she's showing you how and where to invest too.
AI is the biggest technological disruption in history. And this incredible rate of change is making people uncomfortable. But if you are on the right side of change, investment opportunities and job opportunities are going to be enormous. But people don't know what to do. For example, many people think Apple is a very safe investment. It's probably going to be disrupted by artificial intelligence. But yet, Tesla is going to be the biggest.
You've invested just over $2 billion in Tesla?
Yeah, because
think they are very optimistic. And I always have to warn people, I am in the business of optimism, right? Like I'm an early stage investor. I'm always thinking that a company, I only invest if I think a company is going to become some extraordinary movement. But I agree with you. I mean, the last few years, what we have seen as investors in, the American dynamism ecosystem, the companies that are building for defense tech, it did not exist 5 years ago. It just did not, like there was not the enthusiasm or the excitement. DoD wasn't excited about buying from startups. It's a complete 180. And so I always like when people say they meet these founders and they have hope for America. It's like, yeah, every day I get to meet them. And I think that's why I'm such an optimist too, is because I get to see on the ground floor these young engineers who are just incredibly patriotic. Their patriotism, I always say, I was patriotic because, we're the generation that remembers 9/11. Like we were coming of age in 9/11. It changed our lives. These kids weren't even born. Like they have no recollection of some of the things that we understand.
A little bit. 53% of you that listen to this show regularly haven't yet subscribed to this show. So could I ask you for a favor before we start? If you like the show and you like what we do here and you want to support us, the free, simple way that you can do just that is by hitting the subscribe button. And my commitment to you is if you do that, then I'll do everything in my power, me and my team, to make sure that this show is better for you every single week. We'll listen to your feedback, we'll find the guests that you want me to speak to, and we'll continue to do what we do. Thank you so much. Vanessa Van Edwards. For someone that's just clicked on this conversation now, and they're wondering why they should stay and listen to what we're going to talk about, what would you say to them?
Very highly successful people speak a hidden language, and that is the language of cues. If you don't know how to read the cues people are sending to you, if you don't know how to control the cues you're sending to others, you are missing a crucial element of success.
How do you...
About 55.
How long have you been doing this job?
Like 6 months.
May.
Okay, we should kind of know what's coming in, right? What do you think
Well,
average?
I mean, as far as like weekly, I mean, it's about $1,500 a week.
It's a week that hits your account?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You get paid weekly?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So pretty chill. If we average that out, 52 weeks, 78,000. Okay. Net, not bad at all. So about 65.
And my bring home after taxes and insurance and 401k and all those things is 31 and some change a month.
Cool. So we are looking at a household.
There's more.
Good. Of 9,600. What's this more?
Disability.
For what?
It's veteran disability.
Oh, you served. Okay. What did you do?
I was a mechanic there too.
Okay, cool.
I worked on tanks.
What branch?
Army.
Very cool. And what comes in monthly for that?
I think it's like $2,300.
Heather, she took my put that up here. Everything's free today.
Today we meet one of the most famous scammers on the internet, Punch Made Dev. He's made a name for himself as one of the biggest scam rappers on the internet with songs like How to Write a Dump and Punch Anthem. On his social media platforms, he flaunts an absurd amount of money and jewelry. Today, I ask him about the most common scams people are pulling right now so that we the people can better learn how to protect ourselves from scammers like him. The goal of this documentary is twofold. First, to be aware of how scammers operate, and second, to encourage viewers to be the hero and not the villain. Not only is scamming a loser way to make money, but it also can carry a heavy penalty of up to 20 years in prison. The reenactments you are about to see are for educational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm hitting banks, dropping checks, cooking clones, and cracking cards.
Our job today is to explore the most common scams that are out there, see how we can protect you, the viewer, from it, and also meet a guy that is a true internet phenomenon and character, Punch Made Dev. We're not taking any chances with this guy.